Okay, so I will be critiquing SumoPaint.com as my still media tool. So Sumo Paint is a free online Flash-based image editor that was created in 2007. Wikipedia says that, quote-unquote, it is very similar to Photoshop in that it features many of the same tools, but Sumo Paint is geared towards illustration, where other software such as Photoshop are more suited for heavy image editing. And after testing this out, I actually feel that this is like a paint program on steroids. I'm very familiar with the paint program that is defaulted into every Microsoft computer. I mean Windows computer, and so this is why I chose to use this. So one of the pros that I noticed is that because of copyright issues, for copying and pasting images on the web, you can actually create your own images to your own design. So this would be good for businesses in terms of if you want to create your own icons, or if you feel like you feel too limited using the Paint program and would rather explore your creative juices. So once we go into use for free, it will open up a new tab and you can create a blank canvas. And for one, the first thing that I definitely noticed is that there are a lot of options to create your own image. And once it loads up, I will show you what I mean. There are many there are many there are many brush tools, as you can see over here. There are many tools in general. And then under the brush tool itself, I can actually scroll down and become very specific if I want it to be chalk, if I want it to be oil, and if I want it to be stamps in all these shapes. And then you see how there are brush style, post effects, spacing, rotation, there's opacity, flow, diameter, and just a lot. You can even do symmetry, which is one of the features that they have. And this is when you get to move your cursor around and just create anything that you desire. So that's one of the con. And an interesting thing also is that this is also an app for iPads. The only issue is that it's only available in the Apple Store rather than Google Play Book or anything. And you can always go to YouTube tutorials, and you can actually post questions on in their support center and get feedback. The only issue, another issue is that you need internet access to work with this program unless you are a pro member, which isn't too bad because it's just $19 as for a lifetime license. So in terms of the features and functions, you already saw that there are many paintbrush options in terms of I can even make a stamp, and depending on how often you click on it, it gets really light. And now I'm clicking on it multiple, so the control is really in your hands because there are so many options. You can just move it around. Same thing with flow. That took me a while to understand. And as you see, if you increase it, just basically means over here it gets darker. So there's also a shape trail tool, which is pretty neat. If I, for example, want to use a circle, click shape trails, I can create a circle and then trail it. And then you can create a really cool effect. And I already showed you the symmetry tool, which is another feature, but the most important thing of this program is the layers. So as you see here, I can add new layers, which basically is what it is named after. You create a layer. So for example, if I want to create a star, and you can always change the fill with different patterns even if I want to make a star. Do you see how this is above? Wait a minute, maybe this isn't. And then I can actually make this go on top. You can visualize the layers, or you don't, or like include it in there or not. So this is a very cool feature. And in terms of the rubric. So out of the Web 2.0 tool assessment rubric for the criteria, for 1 out of 3, 3 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, for ease and flexibility, I would say that Sumo Paint is a 2, in which it has more than one purposes, and it is moderately flexible, and it does provide a limited two-way communication in which you can pose questions and then get questions back under the support. And it is pretty user-friendly because it kind of works with what you're familiar with, such as the Paint program. The only thing is that they give you a lot more options, so you really need to play around with it. And it does provide snapshots and examples where even in the home page you can just watch a video and you get to see how powerful this graphics or editor is. And it is quite reliable as long as you have internet connection. And out of a 1 to 3 for free and paid, I would give this a 2, where most of the tools are free and desired tools require you to pay, which is an addition. And if you just pay $9 for in one time, then you can get 35 or more pro filters and tools. And I would say from 1 through 2 for under safety and privacy, it would be a 2, because there are still ads. Like over here you see, and then you can expand the ads, and that can get annoying. And however, for first time user, for 1 out of 3, I would actually give a 3. I feel like it does take a lot of time and energy to accomplish the task. It is very time consuming to learn about all of the features, and personally the tutorials did help me out a lot, especially with its basic features like the layers. I actually created this and it looks like there's not much, but as you see, there are 4 layers, and if I make them like invisible, you see what I added and whatnot. And this actually took me a lot of time, and for me, because there are so many options, it's overwhelming. So overall, I would rate this as in a letter grade, I would rate it a B. This is not bad, as long as you have time to learn. So thanks for watching.